Today, every planner needs to invest in their future. Your mindset will determine how it works out for you. It's about how you as a planner must move beyond just running your practice. Think about building a business that creates equity and leaves a legacy. Some people call this spending time on your practice rather than in it. Now is the time to look at all aspects of your practice. Your clients, staff, products and services, suppliers, technology, systems and processes. Think about business models that are going to thrive and the ones that will get left behind. Will my practice attract and retain the clients that I really like, or am I stuck accepting anyone who will have me? Am I giving my clients what they really want when they want it, in the way that they want it? Or am I giving them what I want? Am I running my practice efficiently and effectively, or am I doing things how I did them last year and the year before? Am I using the most appropriate technology, or am I merely using what is familiar to me? Those who will come out on top will make the best of the present. They will see it as a chance in a lifetime to spend time on their practice. If you are in the wrong lane, now is the time to make your move. Act like a planner. Think like an entrepreneur.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Wow. How cool was that AV? Isn't it amazing when you brief people, stuff into people and they exceed your expectations and put something so awesome as that? So welcome to Fairbairn Consult's first annual conference. I mean, it's amazing. We've been planning this thing for quite a while and it's so cool we finally got it here. So firstly, to all our advisors, I mean, you guys are the heart of the business. A huge welcome to you. To our franchise owners and our franchise managers, you guys are so important to us as to how we build it out. To the guests from our sponsors, a huge welcome to you guys. It's awesome that you're believing in us. And then to some of the guests from Old Mutual as well. It's fantastic to have everyone here. So about 4 months ago, we had to make a really tough call around whether this was going to be a face-to-face event or a virtual event like this. And unfortunately, it's the reality of 2021. Hopefully next year, we're back to a normal event where we can sit down together, where we can really engage and really get to know each other a bit better. So hopefully that's the case. But for now, it's this, and it's sure as hell a whole bunch better than doing nothing. I'd like to start with a few thank yous. Firstly, to the Old Mutual execs who really believed in us when we spoke around creating this business. You know, it's always difficult to go into a big corporate and say, hey, we want to build something completely new on the side, and this is why we think it's going to work, and this is what we think it's going to do. And people have really got to believe in you to do that. They've got to commit resources, got to commit money into it, and people. And so a huge thank you to the people who believed in us. To the sponsors who are here today, some of the sponsors are not here today as well, but certainly part of it. Thank you for seeing what we can become as a business. You know, it's incredibly validating when other people look at you and go, wow, we see where you guys are going, and we can see you're going to be a very big player in the market. To the advisors who made career decisions to join us, that's a huge thing to do. And I particularly want to single out Zolani, Jono, and Grant, who joined us in March last year when we existed in PowerPoint before that. They were the very first people who came in and joined us. Wow, thank you guys. I mean, huge thank you. I'm not saying that the people who joined us last week have made less of a career decision, but of course, there's a real business here now, and there's real people to ask, what the experience has been like. To my awesome team, I mean, you guys deal with them every day. To Enid, who turned 40 yesterday, by the way, so happy birthday, Enid. To Jamila and to Dirk, who really are the core of what we do, but there's a broader team behind that. To Rushta and Tara and Mandy and Jolene and a whole bunch of other people. I mean, you guys are absolutely flipping awesome. This wouldn't have happened without all you guys. And then lastly, to the people who made this event happen. When the guys suggested we're going to do a virtual event, I mean, I have no idea how you organize it, but and if I could turn the camera around, you could see there's a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of stuff here, and it's amazing. So a huge thank you. Thank you to everyone who made this happen. Now, I know you guys have all received the goodie box over the last couple of days. We've received a huge number of emails and WhatsApps and whatever. People are just saying thank you to us. So, yeah, I really hope that you enjoy that. No, you may not ask for a second one, as a couple of people already have tried. There's only one per person, but it really is cool. There's a little note in there. I don't know if you've seen it, and really every time you take one of those things out and you use it, think back on this conference. Think back on the messaging that you've heard today, because I think it's something that can really, really help you to build out your business as you go forward. So I'm going to show you, just quickly run through the agenda so you get in the sense of where we're going today and what it looks like. So after me is Karen Land, who's the MD of Old Mutual's Personal Finance. After that, we have a person who probably needs the least introduction here, Bruce Whitfield, who's going to talk about around his book, The Upside Down. I mean, Bruce is the sort of preeminent financial journalist in the country, and something that many of us listen to pretty much every day around that. There's a break after that, and when we come back, Dirk and Vaneshri are going to talk around client referrals and why it is so important for you to consider in your practice. Should you be referring clients? Shouldn't you? When should you? How should you? And then Dirk will go into some of the options of what we have for you now within Fairbairn Consult. After that, we've got our 5 product sponsors who are part of it here. So Chloe Gens from Capital Legacy, Cully Nell from Discovery. Unfortunately, Cully broke his ankle and was advised that he may not travel at all. So Cully's got a video we're playing. But please, I mean, don't question the commitment. When we sent out the sort of sponsorship notice to the providers, Discovery came back within an hour. Said, absolutely, we want to be on board with you guys. So thanks, guys. Then there's Steve Piper from FMI. Steve's here. Priya Naika from Old Mutual, and then Gilly de Swart from Sanlam Investments. I guess pretty much everyone has seen a very significant announcement from them yesterday. Well, Gilly's going to be here a little bit later. Then there's a second break, and after that, Riyad Musa is going to entertain you royally around his take on living in these times. And I think again you'll find that really interesting. And we close out with Marwan Abrams, who's the head of Old Mutual's broker distribution, to close out the session today. So I'd like to take a couple of steps backwards and just remind everyone, why did we build Fairbairn Consult? And why did we build it in the way we have done? Because we're not unique in the market from a sort of legal construct perspective, but we are unique from a philosophy of how we pitched up. So we looked at all these changing regulations, RDR, COFI, AML, POP-P, there's a lot of regulations that's changing. And we concluded there, if you look at the sort of broader segments of the market, the tide's getting more restricted, the banks have got a really big business model problem to go and solve as to what are they going to look like. But being an IFA is just getting more and more onerous. And I've said it on a few other platforms, there's no scenario where compliance becomes less. And you're seeing that with guys who are IFAs today, who are just saying, I spend so much time on compliance stuff. And we said, okay, so here's a big group of people who want to be able to behave like IFAs. They want to be able to make their own decisions around their practice. So let's build that business for them. That's exactly what we've done with Fairbairn Consult. We've built a business for people who really want to have complete control over what they're doing, but without all that hassle of your own FSP. So, I think the fact where we are today, it really attests to that sort of theory playing out in reality. We've been running now for 18 months, 19 months actually, today. We're now up and running on all lines of business on a Cat 1. And I'll just give you an example of, that sounds like a really easy statement to make. It took us a year with the Council of Medical Schemes to get our health schemes approval in there. Dealing with regulatory bodies now has become unbelievably painful, but finally there. We've got over 150, I looked on the rep register last night, 151 advisors on the register across our retail and institutional sides of the business. We've got a completely national footprint, advisors in all 9 provinces, and we have assets under advice at the moment of approximately 300 billion, which is an enormous number for a new business to have on board. So before I introduce the theme, I just thought I'd give you some of my own thoughts around conferences. I've been to a lot of conferences in my life. both in South Africa, internationally, as you know, what have you. And the philosophy I've taken with them is there's fundamentally, no, there's three kinds of speakers. There's crap ones, hopefully you don't get those. There's people who tell you really interesting things. People who, you know, when you listen to them, oh, they're a compelling speaker and what they say is fascinating. But if I ask you a week later, what did they say? You've got no idea. You've got absolutely no idea, but it was entertaining or interesting at the time. And the third one is people who tell you useful things. And my philosophy with conferences, if I get one useful, implementable idea that will make my life better, then that conference is a huge success. If you get two, well, but then it's off the charts successful. And the reality is you've got a variety of people today with a variety of different perspectives on the topic. And one of them today is going to say something that will fundamentally improve your business. So listen up, listen real carefully, because I say at some point that's going to really happen. And if you're not taking note, you might miss it. In fact, it might just validate a thought in your head. So grab a notepad and make some notes as you go along. So our theme for today is act like a planner, think like an entrepreneur. And it really talks to the dual nature of being a financial advisor, where on one hand you're a technician giving advice in terms of phase and all that good stuff, but on the other hand you're running a business. Whether it's a small business, whether it's a big business, it doesn't matter. It's running a business. And both sides of that have to be looked after if you want to build a successful business as you go forward. My background is I'm a civil engineer, so building stuff. I'm also a chartered accountant, so looking after money and business and stuff. So I guess building businesses kind of makes sense to me where I'm going. And so that theme really kind of resonated a whole bunch with me. And I want to use a little example to try and show you the difference in mentality between thinking like a planner or acting like a planner and thinking like an entrepreneur. So if you just bear with me through this little example, because I think it'll help you kind of get your head around the concept. If you are acquiring new clients, you want to acquire a particular kind of clients, and I'll show you a little basic 2x2 matrix of how that can work. So across the bottom, you've got clients you don't really like, and over here you've got clients you do like, right? And on this axis, you've got clients you make very little money from and clients you make a whole bunch of money from. Now, it's pretty obvious if you were acquiring new clients, you'd want these guys. People you like and you make a bunch of money from them. Acquiring these guys, that's terrible, right? You've got people here, you don't like them and you make no money. Here you've got people you make money, but the interactions are really unpleasant. Down here, fantastic conversations, but you're not earning anything out of it. So that's a pretty simple matrix of how you would go about acquiring clients, and I think intuitively everyone gets that. If I was to ask you, as a planner, as an advisor, right, to talk about the clients you don't like versus those you do, I think intuitively you could all do that. I think intuitively you could run down a client list and go, like him, like her, don't like her, etc., as you go along. An entrepreneur would look at that slightly differently. An entrepreneur would go, so what are the characteristics of the people I like working with versus those I don't like working with? Are these people over here, for example, business owners versus these people are employees sitting somewhere? Are these people, government employees versus these are entrepreneurs? Whatever it might be, however you do it, an entrepreneur would understand their market in terms of the characteristics of the people, and therefore they'd be able to find the clients they like working with a whole bunch easier. Similarly, if you look at on the revenue side, a few advisors would be able to produce a revenue statement where you've split the commission between your clients. So you know which client pays you the most commission or fees or what have you as you go along. Some people have never seen that, but it's possible to produce it pretty easily, right? So you know that this client pays you the most and this one pays you the least. But an entrepreneur knows that you don't run a business on revenue. You run a business on profit. And how many advisors can sit down and say, I know which client is my most profitable client? And I'll give you an example. So you've got two clients, right? And let's just throw some numbers randomly at it. One client pays you 10,000 Rand a month, all in with all the different fees across all the different products. Somebody else pays you 15,000 a month across a bunch of stuff. The guy who pays you 10,000 lives down the road from you, comes and sees you once a year, loves what you do, never questions a statement you send him, takes up almost nothing of your admin staff's time, etc., etc. The guy over here who pays you more lives 3 hours away, insists on you driving out to him 3 times a year. you kind of got this habit going where you take him to his favorite restaurant, which, to be honest, is overpriced for what you get. You sit there, you have a bottle of wine, sometimes a second, so you stay over in that guest house on the edge of town. He constantly bombards your back office with stuff around wanting more about this and that. He phones you, what about this fund or this thing or Bitcoin, how much do you invest in these different things? On a profit perspective, which of those two clients makes you more money? And until you've kind of done that exercise, you haven't yet started to really think like an entrepreneur. So I think it's something just to think about. It's a pretty trivial or sort of simple model, but I think it demonstrates the point around how the different approach to thinking about your business. So we've got product provider days coming up in the sort of coming weeks, literally over the next few weeks, and I really want you guys to take the time to attend these. And the reason for that is you don't know what you don't know. I mean, every advisor who's joined us has come out of a tied business, come out of a bank, has been an independent advisor before. Whichever way it is, no one knows what the whole of the market looks like in terms of a product set. And so while these days are optional for you to attend, no one's going to compel you to, it's a really quick and easy way for you to get an idea of what these different providers are offering, where it fits into the market, which clients does it work for, which problem does it actually solve. Because you might sit there and go, actually, hang on, that's a carbon copy of what I've already got, I don't need it. And I would certainly never recommend you have multiple versions of the same product. That doesn't help you at all. But where it is different, where it does fit into a different niche, and you work with clients in that niche, you might say, wow, that's actually that's an incredibly easy way for me to find out about that as we go along. We have CPD points from today. Please keep an eye on your inbox going forward around that. We will also be sending you stuff through the email around all the different product days coming along. So they're going to be on a Friday morning. Attendance is optional. There will be videos available. A video library will build up over time as we go along with it. But obviously the advantage of joining on the day is that you can ask questions to the guys. You can really engage them as you go along. So as we come to a close, I want to just say happy World Financial Planning Day. It's a thing. I guess some of you guys who are FPI members would probably be aware of it. The guys who are not, it really is a thing. It's a global thing. It's the first Wednesday of October every year. And I think going forward, as a business, I'd really like us to do something about it. And I'll send something around ideas with you guys as we go forward around what that would be and what does Fairbairn Consult do as a business on World Financial Planning Day, and how do we put ourselves out there and really have something that resonates with clients across the country. So enjoy the day. Really, as I said before, someone is going to say something today which really will it will enhance your business no end. They'll come up with an idea that if we left you alone, you wouldn't think of on your own. Because your perspective and your experience and all that is a certain thing, and they've just seen the world a little bit differently. And perspective is a beautiful thing. Perspective always leads to great ideas. It's why diversity and inclusion is so important in every business, because different people see the world differently. So enjoy the sessions, enjoy the day, and I'll see you all a bit later on. Thank you. Cheers.